Hi friends! Today I was at work and I realized that I have this habit of curling my pen. In fact, I've gotten so good at it since I picked it up when I was in my schooling years that I can actually do it with both hands. So I've been wondering to myself, is this actually something good, fidgeting like this? For me personally, I feel that it helps me to focus and it has this strange calming effect. I wasn't too certain whether this is actually healthy, so I did a Google search after work to find out more details about this. And it certainly has been quite interesting. People with ADHD generally benefit from fidgeting around using devices like a pen or a fidget cube or even like a fidget spinner. And the reason for this is that it gives them a way to redirect their energy in a non-distracting manner. Also, for people whose minds tend to wander away, having some form of sensory input helps to keep you focused on the task at hand. For myself, I actually come under a third category where it helps with stress and anxiety relief. It was found that repetitive actions actually provide a very calming effect, and this is why I guess the twirling of the pen helps me a lot. There are also other people who are under enormous amounts of emotional stress, and in this case, having something like a simple fidget spinner or fidget cube provides them with a small physical outlet for dealing with the overwhelming emotions. And then I found some very conflicting studies as well. One of them mentions that when you keep your hands occupied, your brain tends to be able to focus better and you can just focus on doing the thinking part of the work. Whereas in another study, it was found that people who fidget helps to keep the mind occupied when they are doing mundane, very boring tasks. So I'm not too sure like which study is more accurate, because if on one hand it seems that one study is claiming that it helps with freeing up the mind to focus on the thinking task, whereas in another study it says that it's actually helping to keep the idle parts of the mind occupied when you're doing very boring tasks. So based on the studies I've found, I guess the conclusion is that small amounts of fidgeting actually does help us in some way, but we have to be mindful that this fidgeting doesn't get too drastic, that it becomes a distraction to ourselves or to those around us. So this is probably the biggest takeaway.